It's the Vibe with Tanya Rad and EJ, and I'm really pumped to have our next guest on because we've been playing Sunroof from Nicky Youre for a minute now on this show, and he's joining me today. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Absolutely. What's up, Tanya? Thanks for having me on the show.
No, honestly, I'm obsessed with your song. I feel like it's it literally is like the perfect feel good song. Like, I think you literally hit the nail on the head with it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think like a lot of that's like been definitely the coolest part is everyone tells me that. And it's like a very reassuring thing for me as like the artist being like, oh, like I did something right. Like that's cool. That's sick. So thank you.
But I just learned this that you see Sunroof and it's like so successful. It's blowing up. You couldn't go on social media and not see a video or something with the song behind it. But you've been making music for 6 years now. So like tell me about that process of just kind of like how you were doing it and then why this song you think just like clicked.
Yeah, so I started making music 6 years ago with a buddy of mine in his bedroom because we both played water polo together, and he knew that I like to sing because I would like sing in the mornings before practice and all that stuff. And he was like, hey, like I'm making beats, like come sing on some of these songs. So that's kind of how I started. We started making like EDM music, and it was just bad for like 3 years. So that's why I didn't release anything ever, because I knew it wasn't very good. And then I think like my 4th or 5th year into it, I made Sex and Lemonade, which is my first song out. And that's when I was like, oh, like I gotta keep making pop music. Like this feels so good to me. So I was trying to chase that for a while. And then I ended up making Sunroof. And that's when I was like, this is a really cool, special song. Like this one's definitely coming out. And yeah, I don't know. I just like knew that it had to come out. There was like 23 different versions of the song, and I wanted to make sure, we did it right. And that was the first song that I did with like a professional team, so I had my management team really get that started, and then the label caught on about halfway through. And yeah, I don't know, things have just been good. I think it's just like a fun, easy to listen to song.
No, it honestly is like so perfect.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about that moment of kind of when you realize like, oh, because we say it all the time. We're like, this song's going viral on TikTok or this song's going viral on social media. But like, how does that actually happen? Like when you put the song out, like when did you start seeing traction, or did you like start it off yourself, or like how did it all happen?
Well, and to touch on your one of your points, it's weird because like I made songs where I'm like, oh, this is gonna catch on so easily on TikTok, and like I've just started recently teasing stuff, and it's like, oh, this is hard now. But like Sunroof, I wasn't never like, I thought this was a really good song, but I was never once like, this is gonna blow up on TikTok, So it's kind of weird, but like, yeah, I mean, I noticed it with like after 3 weeks of posting the sound on TikTok. I decided, or I just saw a video like after I posted it for like a week later, it just randomly blew up, and it was a video of my 10 favorite songs because I have really good music taste. And people liked it, and then they were like, whoa, what song's playing in the background? And then it's kind of how it all started. And people just started using it and all that good stuff.
It's so crazy because it's like, I even say it all the time. I'm like, this song's blowing up on TikTok or this song's blowing up on whatever, but I'm like, how does it actually like happen? And as the artist, like what a crazy feeling.
It's definitely like the best feeling, because it's like, you post so many videos. I know everyone posts so many videos just trying to get one to go. And when you finally get one to go, it's like, yes, like sick, I did it. Even if it's for just a short period amount of time, but there's really no like way to like do it either. You can't like just replicate things. Like I wish I had like a formula. There's only a couple people that like can do the same thing and it blows each time, and I don't have that quite yet. So we're still figuring it out, and I think a lot of TikTok is doing the same.
But I also, after you graduated from college, you were selling computers, right?
Yeah, I was working for Dell Technologies remotely at my house.
Then you were making music as like your passion.
Yeah. So like I knew I wanted to do music. At that point, I like sat down with my manager and I was like, all right, like you convinced me, like we're doing this, like, but I'm going to go all in, like go super hard. So like set me up with as many sessions and all that stuff. And so like I knew right then so I would go from like 6:30, work from 6:30 a.m. with Dell, and get off at like 3:30 p.m. and then drive to LA, but get there like at 5, and then like make music till like 11 or whatever, then come back and restart that process. And that
And
was
then you almost gave up at some point?
I never really gave up at that point. I almost gave up beforehand, before I ever put out Sunroof, because I didn't feel like I was able to make another fun summer song ever again, like my first song. And I was very wrong.
It just goes to show you, you know, like you think I'm done or like I can't do it anymore. And it just takes
Yeah,
that like extra little bit of oomph.
for sure. It was like my manager, he like reached out to me, and like I made him work for a couple months before we ever like really did anything. But he just like gave me the confidence that I needed to be like, all right, like I can do this. And I kind of just like reset. And then like literally like a week after, I was like, all right, we're doing this, man. Like I wrote Sunroof. And
What a great manager.
yeah, he's definitely become one of my best friends, but also
Yeah, I got to keep him around for
he's
sure.
a good guy. And like, yeah, it's cool. So
And I'm always so curious about this because I feel like a lot of artists, you know, DM each other, or I'm sure, you know, like if they hear a song that they like, they reach out on DM and like say like, I love your song, or let's work together. Has any of that happened to you since the song blew up?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I know so many people now that are in the music industry, and like I think a year ago me would be like freaking out with like the amount of people that like I've DM'd, or like they've DM'd me, and like that like I've liked for years, you know, or things like that. Like it's been cool. Like Pink Sweats followed me like not too long ago on Instagram, and like he was one of the first people that I started making me, or like I would cover his songs when I was learning how to sing, and like things like
Oh,
that.
so it's like a full circle moment.
That one was really cool. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, sick. Like I love this guy. So that was cool. I never talked to him, but he seems sweet. Um, and yeah, I don't know, a bunch more. Like I don't really have any more off the top of the head, but like, or I guess like Jake, JVKE, who's killing it on radio too. Like people like that, like I would have been so stoked a year ago to have DMs with. Like, and I'm just like, hey, what's up, you guys? Like, how we doing? You know?
Right. Like they're just like DMing you like, hey, I love your song. And you just gotta play it cool. You're like, yeah, I know. Thanks. I like yours too.
Yeah, exactly. But you get used to it. Like at first I was really nervous, and now I'm just like, yo, like thank you so much. Like I like your stuff too. Like we should hang out sometime. And then we do, and it's like we're cool friends now. So
Yeah. Or like work together.
yeah, that's like the goal with a lot of them. It's like to eventually do stuff together.
So what is okay? So Sunroof is obviously just it's just gonna keep going up. And when I'm telling you, like I can't quite put it into words the way that song makes me feel, but it's just like it's that perfect feeling. Like it's literally just like carefree, happy. I listen to it when I'm like I like to go on sun runs outside, so I like
That's
listen
cool.
to it when I'm like running. I like to listen to it when I'm barbecuing. I like to listen to it like literally all the time. What are you like? What are your plans? Like, what's next? Like, are you planning on putting out a ton of more stuff, or like, what's the kind of rollout tour?
Yeah, so I mean, right now we have the 3 songs out, and I obviously would love to get many more out. I had been sitting on so many songs that I think are, you know, in my opinion, just as good as Sunroof. So um, I'm really excited about getting new music out. We are playing the game right now with just like trying to maximize Sunroof as much as we can, um, because you don't always have a moment like this, you know. So we're trying to do that. But then after that, we'll get the EP out, and then we'll do some remixes as well with Sunroof. And then we're gonna do some tour stuff top of next year. So it's really exciting.
That is really exciting. And you were talking about how I mean, you're a fan of music, and like you obviously you have a good music taste. Who would you say is like your favorite artist right now that you're just like, oh, like they're crushing it?
Um, I don't know. I can't say one. I'll say a couple.
Okay, that's fine.
I think like the goat of our generation, at least, is Justin Bieber. At least in like the sense of like pop-ish music stuff, because he's just done everything. So I love him. I love Dominic Fike. I wish he'd put out more stuff. And then I love like Ty Verdes too, and like Surfaces is like another group of guys that I think like is my vibe a lot too. So those are like some of my favorites. Salem Elise, like I like some. I listen to a lot of music, so I like a lot, you know. But
And are you like a music person? Like you wake up in the morning, you just like listen to music?
I think I was. Now I'm not, because like I know I'm about to go do like a 10-hour long session. So like I don't like listen as much as I did before.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
but yeah, I mean, I definitely like I'm listening to stuff. I do an hour and a half long drive from OC to LA every day. So like I'm always just trying to find new stuff to keep me excited.
And like a 10-hour session. So that means like 10 hours in the studio. What do you do for like that? Like it's so
Yeah.
crazy.
It's like, well, the first hour is almost always like, what's up, catching up, or like getting to know each other. And then you start like trying to make stuff, and like it takes a while to like figure it out. And then like just writing is like a long process. You know, if you have another writer in there, it's not always 10 hours, but like if you have a really good session, like in a song that's like slapping, you like stay for a really long time. Like sometimes I go get dinner with the people, or like, you know, we just have you try and make it a fun like environment, I think.
Yeah. 10 hours is wild. How many hours did Sunroof take you?
Well, I wrote that pretty much that whole thing, from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I wrote that whole thing in one night, or maybe like one day, when I was just like, I was sick one night. But it was at like a really positive moment in my life. Things were just going really well, and so I think that's why it feels good, because
Yeah.
feeling really good. But like I wrote the whole thing in like a couple hours probably. That was like one of
Wow.
the faster songs I've written, which is usually a good sign that like if it's coming out easily, it's like probably a good song.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I like when you say it's slapping. I
Yeah,
like that. I'm gonna start saying that.
yeah, things banging, that works
Things
too.
banging, slapping.
Yeah,
Well, Nicky Youre, thank you so much for taking the time. I really, really appreciate it. Fan of yours. And I just look forward to hearing more from you, seeing more from you, and just watching you just continue to skyrocket.
thanks, Tanya, I appreciate that, and thank you for playing the song, and thanks for chatting with me today. It was such a
Of
blast.
course. I think we're probably going to play now. Do you want to do the honors? Introduce your song?
Yeah, what do I say? Do I just say, hey, I'm
You
Nicky
can say,
Youre?
hey, yeah, this is Nicky Youre, and you're listening to my song Sunroof on the Vibe.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What's up? It's Nicky Youre, and you're listening to my song Sunroof on the Vibe.
Love it. Thank you so much.